Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So, we have a lot of news, a lot of breaking news to go over. I mean, I'm not breaking it, but it just recently broke, and I want to go over it with you guys. In both the case of Madelaine Soto, with the perpetrator being Stephan Stearns, and also the case of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelley. So, if you guys remember when we went over the arrest affidavits, which you will be refreshed if you don't remember, there was mention of a fifth person, Paul Grice. He has been arrested as well, and I have his arrest affidavit. It's very similar to the others. It just has a little bit extra at the end, and there's been some other news surrounding that case we're going to go over too. So thank you guys for being here. And yeah, hello everybody, and I hope you guys have had a good day. Let me say hello to you guys, and then we'll get started. I'm torn. I don't know. Should I say hello to all of you at the beginning? Should I wait till the end? I know some people don't like it, and they want to get into the news. So I'll just say a quick hello to you guys, and then we will get right into it. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Claus. By the way, Claus, thank you for sending me the news about Stephan, because that's how I found out, and I appreciate that so much. Hey, Solo Sock, Foxy, Tracy, thank you guys for being here. Old Snap Ginger, Adrian, Pointer Lover, Neat Noodle, Tess, Meg, Natasha, Foxy. Let's see. Tracy. Hey, Angela, Music City Mom. Oh my goodness, almost a year old. Thank you for being a member, 11 months, and for all your help. Thank you so much. Hey, Maria, he needs to get the chair. Stephan Stearns, well, you know what? He just might. I actually think he's going to. Hey, Aaron, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Sorry, I had to get the heat off. Let's see who I missed. Hey, Christina, Kathy, Mayla's mom, good to see you. Drive safe, by the way. Nature Rocks, Cool Gamer, Alyssa, Riley, anybody I missed? Hey, Iffy. Hey, Megan. Okay, so how many of you guys watched the press conference? If you watched the press conference for Stephan Stearns finally being charged with the murder of Madelaine Soto, put a 1 in the chat. Also, I just want to let you guys know, if you follow along with the jail calls with us, you know, we had intentions of doing some of them yesterday, but Jen had the opportunity to celebrate with her husband their anniversary. So we're going to be starting part 2 tonight at 7 on Jen's channel. After that, if you didn't see the press conference, put a 2. After that, Jen has a major interview. I am really excited. It's with the founders of the Nick Godejohn. It's a big interview, so I hope to see you guys over there too, especially if you followed Gypsy's case. I forgot to change my logo from our Patreon Live. By the way, yeah, I enjoyed that. If you guys ever want to just hang out and have more personal conversation, we do talk some true crime, but it's mainly personal about my experience on YouTube, about what I'm going through in my life, whatever. Come join the Patreon. Also, we share, court documents and other things with cases that aren't necessarily appropriate to put out here to the public, to everybody. Ginger didn't see it. Pointer Lover didn't see it. Alexis, Iffy. It's pretty short. I think maybe we should watch it then. It was too quiet, though. Okay, so let me see. Because we have a lot to go through. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. I have the press conference here already ready to go, but I also have an article. I had actually another one, but something went wrong with it, and it wouldn't, it was loaded, and then it went blank and wouldn't reload from the Orlando Centennial. But Stephan Stearns has been charged for the murder of Madelaine Soto nearly 2 months after the 13-year-old girl's body was found in Osceola County. Stearns, the boyfriend of Madelaine's mother, Jennifer, was charged with first-degree murder according to Osceola County court records. A grand jury indicted Stearns for the death of Soto on Wednesday, documents show. Now, I have been over on the Twitters already, as you can see here, trying to get these arrest affidavit papers or whatever. I don't think we'll have a typical arrest affidavit since it was a grand jury indictment. I'm not sure, to be 100% honest with you. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see for that. But okay, so back to this. I want to say, he had court this morning. He didn't show. Sorry, the press conference was playing in the background. He didn't show, but they were all rescheduled, and his trial was reset for August. Now, I want to make this very clear. Without being charged with Madeline's murder, Stephan is still facing the possibility of being put to death. His crimes before the murder were capital crimes, and it's capital murder as well. So, which channel, Crystal? Let me see here. Hey, Bendy, are you talking about what Benny's doing tonight, Crystal? Or what Bendy's doing tonight, Crystal? Slow down. Thank you, Grandma Cece. Well, like right before the live, hey, 99 Problems, hey, Ryan, I saw there was this fifth arrest, and I wanted to get that done, so I had to skim through the documents and stuff like that, and I was kind of rushing around. So Patreon, yeah, it is $5, but actually there's a free tier. And I know we have memberships here. Like what I recommend when people ask me is just opt in to be gifted a membership if you want to do the Patreon and do that instead. It's really up to you guys. But there is a free tier on Patreon, and all the court documents and stuff like that for open cases go on that free tier. So if you just want to join that, I would love that as well. Okay, so the indictment said Stearns allegedly killed Soto between February 25th and February 27th. Her body was found on March the 1st. No other details about how she died were made immediately clear. The ME's office cited a state statute that prohibits the release of an autopsy report of a minor whose death is related to an act of domestic violence, and the investigation is still ongoing. The state attorney said officials are not sure on whether they'll seek the death penalty. He said his office will weigh the decision for the next couple of weeks to make sure they make an appropriate legal decision. The evidence shows an individual that was entrusted to keep Madeline safe made a calculated move to dispose Madeline's belongings and place her body in a wooded area before she was ever reported missing. I'm actually not going to read through the rest of this because we're going to go ahead and watch the press conference. And then I'm going to share this link, though, because it has a lot of other stuff on it. So it'll be dropped in the chat right now. If you're interested, you can just click that link and get some more information. But let's go over to the press conference and check this out so we can also talk about, I want to talk about both cases, and we don't have a ton of time. But this is pretty brief. I'm going to turn it up. Hopefully you guys can hear it all right. Let me know if you don't. And yeah, let's see here.
Of the press conference.
There we go. Okay.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. Today, the Kissimmee Police Chief and myself are here to provide an update on the death investigation on 13-year-old Madelaine Soto, who was reported missing back on February 26th of this year and discovered dead 4 days later. I know the community and the media have been anxious for us to give an update on this case, and this is an opportunity for us to do that. For the last 7 weeks, 7.5 weeks actually, the Kissimmee Police Department and my office have been working closely to go over every piece of evidence that we could gather in this case. It was a voluminous and a lot of evidence to get through during that time, but we were successful in getting through it and making sure that we were able to provide the best case we could. Today, we're announcing that Stephan Stearns has been indicted by the grand jury on first-degree murder for the killing of Madelaine Soto. We presented the case to the grand jury. They returned an indictment earlier today. There has been some questions as related to the length of investigation. I just want to let you know again that my office and the Kissimmee Police Department have been working vigilantly in making sure that we had every opportunity to get every piece of evidence that we could. I want to thank the Kissimmee Police Department and their tireless efforts. They've done an amazing job in the heavy lift that we've asked them to do, as well as the prosecutors that have been assigned to this case and making sure that we got every piece of evidence reviewed and gathered in this case. While death investigations usually take around 5 to 6 weeks or longer, we were able to get this one done relatively quickly and get the case to the front of the grand jury, like I said earlier today, to return the indictment against Mr. Stephan Stearns. The death penalty in this case, we have not decided to what decision we're going to make in that case. We're going to continue those discussions going forward, and we'll let you know again when we make that decision as to whether we're going to seek the death penalty in this case. I want to thank the grand jury for their hard work and their efforts in making sure that we're making this first step in seeking justice for Madelaine Soto, for her family, and so this the community can have closure in this case. The defendant will appear at initial appearances, I believe probably the next day or two. Then the case will proceed down its normal path, and we'll try to keep you abreast of how the case is moving, as well as you probably ask us questions to make sure that we are providing that proper information to keep you abreast of how the case is going down the normal path of the criminal justice system. I'd like now to introduce Chief of Police Betty Holland, and for her to provide comment.
Okay. I just want to say I'm curious how you guys feel about the transparency in this investigation, or lack of. How are you satisfied? Do you think that they've kept us notified and been transparent with what's going on? Because oftentimes I do think that it's important to kind of just have that conversation within our communities, because when they don't tell us anything, I swear it causes lots of problems. Okay, I like this police chief.
Thank you, State Attorney
That's
Mr.
great.
Bain. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the investigators and the other agencies that assisted us in uncovering the evidence to move forward with this case. We know this case has gained significant public attention because Madeline had just celebrated her 13th birthday.
Are you guys still having trouble hearing? Let me see. The closed captions are available now. I don't know why they're all of a sudden so small. So maybe that will help. So I can hear pretty good. But if you guys are having trouble, let me know.
Just a child. The evidence shows an individual that was entrusted to keep Madeline safe made calculated moves to dispose Madeline's belongings and place her body in a wooded area before she was ever reported missing. For the 4 days following her disappearance, the entire community was actively looking to find Madeline safe and alive. Tragically, on March 1st, Madeline's remains were found. Our detectives have worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to Madeline's disappearance and death.
Okay, so I want to just take a quick pause and address a couple comments briefly. Riley says, I don't think it has been transparent, but also she is a child, so I can empathize with the lack of evidence for her privacy as a child. Neat had a similar theme to her comment. She says, I think it's fine. Convicting Stephan is more important than So I'm with you guys. I don't think her privacy should be violated. And I think that, I appreciate them protecting minors in the state of Florida. I do. I don't think that we are owed an explanation about anything, right? That's what the trial is for. And I think that social media really seems to get in the way of some of these active investigations. Now, I do think when we look at cases like Idaho or Sebastian's case, Summer's case, lack of information can sometimes cause like these conspiracies and stuff like that. I don't necessarily see that happening in this case very much, except many people, I would like to know that too, Pointer Lover, the cause of death. Many people are curious about mom. So I personally I just want to take the wait and see approach with mom. I cannot imagine dating someone and them doing this to my child. And let's say she was completely blindsided, which it happens all the time. There are so many kids who never tell, who get abused and they never tell a soul. And it's very possible that Jennifer had no idea. It's possible she did, right? And I can understand that, why people think that. But I have to say it's also very possible she had no idea. And I'm really trying to rethink the way I do things personally when it comes to true crime and these victims and their family members. I don't think it's fair for me. Now, you guys having your opinion is one thing, but me broadcasting it out to however many people see this is a whole nother ballgame, right? And I'm going to keep my opinion, that I'm just going to keep it neutral until we know more. They do kind of try to ask. They won't say much about it, but you'll see. And I won't pause again until it's over. I'm going to let it play. I don't want to drive you guys crazy with pausing to give my opinions. But I just, I can't imagine how devastated I would be. She has not been arrested yet. They do say, the investigation is still ongoing. They kind of leave it open, which I think fuels these rumors and the speculation. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. I just think that we should all try to kind of reach inside of ourselves and inside of our hearts and just wait and see until we know for sure. They are investigating all of their electronics. They're going to know a lot of what was going on. Sure, they may not find out every single detail, but they're going to certainly know about the dynamics between Jen and Stephan and their messages with each other and all that kind of stuff. So I think that, just try to reach inside of yourself and give a little extra grace and love right now until we know more. That's kind of where I'm at. Hey, Queen Bella. Hey, Millie, come home. Okay, so we're going to keep listening. I'm behind in the comments. I'm going to be continuing to read them as we go along. Teacup says, I think with a case like this and the nature of what happened, not being entirely transparent is a good thing. Okay, let's go. And like I said, I'll read the comments and respond to you guys in the chat as we go while we listen.
With the collaboration of the state's attorney's office, we prepared the case for the grand jury that was heard today. The grand jury determined that our department secured enough evidence to obtain a first-degree murder indictment. We appreciate each grand jury member for their careful consideration. We want to thank the diligent work of the state's attorney's office, the medical examiner's office, and our other law enforcement partners who assisted with this investigation. Your expertise and dedication were instrumental in uncovering the truth. The indictment signifies a crucial step forward in our quest for justice and a testament to our commitment to honoring Madeline's memory. We will now take questions. Right, I'm going to defer to the state's attorney.
Good afternoon. Although an indictment has been returned this afternoon, it is still an open and ongoing criminal investigation. So much of this information cannot be disclosed until Mr. Stern's attorney, if he does so, elects to participate in discovery, and then all of you in the media know how to go about seeking information through public records.
Not that we've uncovered.
Cannot hear the questions.
Again, all questions about the facts of the case are not subject to disclosure because of public records laws at this time. Once his attorney participates in discovery, then you can make public records requests through your normal channels as you do in other cases.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Jennifer.
At this time, the only person being charged is Stephan Stearns. And again, this is not over. There is an ongoing investigation to uncover more evidence, and therefore we can't comment.
So that was a question about, are there going to be any other arrests? And like he said, the only person being charged is Stephan Stearns. You can't hear the questions. I don't know why. Like on my phone, I could hear them a little bit, but I think I was watching.
There's going to be the same response on any question about the facts of the case. Through the facts of the case.
Cannot hear their questions. So let's take a pause. Maria says unpopular, and maybe an unpopular opinion, which, those are welcome here. I don't mind the unpopular opinions. I think that it can challenge the way that we all think, if I'm, being frank about it. But she says maybe an unpopular opinion, but I have no forgiveness for her mom. Madeline went through a living hell. If her mom did not notice a damn thing, then she's not a good parent. Well, Maria, I just want, I can see why people think that for sure. And I can see why you think that. But I just have to remind you, I can't tell you how many people since this case has happened have come to me and said, I never told my mom. I never told my mom. They had, some of them had really great moms and they never told. So, I've never been in this kind of situation, so I wouldn't have a clue what it would be like to be a kid. But I know many of the people in the chat have, and, their parents didn't know. Nobody knew these things now I haven't been in this situation. However, unfortunately, most women have experienced unwanted touching by someone at some point in their lives. Most women have. For me, I've also experienced that, and there's a certain amount of shame that comes along with that, where you feel gross, dirty, and it's hard to tell people about it, even though you did nothing, even though you didn't ask for it, even though there's no reason at all nothing that you can do to deserve that. For some reason, when you're on that other side of it, it's really hard to share. I honestly my parents still don't know all of the things that I went through now I was a little older, like a teenager, for some of them. But I think that there's a level of shame that comes along with that, where we are so grossed out by the act and by what's happened to us that we feel gross ourselves when you're in that position. And like I said, I can't not speak for someone who it was happening in their home or from a stepdad or something like that. I cannot imagine how horrible that would be. But just from someone who has experienced that from someone else in my life or other people, you just feel gross. I cannot even describe it. A million showers wouldn't make you feel better. I don't know. So, we got to keep that in mind. Natasha says they're totally transparent. Thank goodness, although some more than others for sure. Even though, Maria, even if I don't change your mind with what I have to say, I don't care. I don't, I will never be angry with you guys for disagreeing with me ever. I enjoy it. And I appreciate you being bold enough to speak honestly. Yes, first degree was added. Yes, one charge. So I shouldn't have put new charges. My title's actually not necessarily correct. He was charged with first degree murder. That was the only charge, which is quite interesting. We don't see anything else. And maybe there will be. So let me let it play while I finish some comments, and then we're going to continue on. We have a few things to talk about. Can't hear their questions. It's annoying.
So with any death case that is reviewed
Hey,
by
Kelley,
the office, when it's determined to be a homicide, we have to look at the statutory aggravating factors that are laid out in our Florida law. Once we've determined that we have sufficient evidence to prove those factors to the proper evidentiary standard, then we had to have a talk about whether this is a death penalty case. And that's a discussion that we're still going to be having for the next couple of weeks to make sure that we're making a legal decision that's appropriate in this case. I'll leave that for Mr. Will.
Interesting.
Cannot comment on whether Mr. Stearns has been doing anything. He has counsel.
Hey, Adrian.
And as far as plea offers, no, there are no plea offers made on the open case. You can address that question with the indictment that should be on the clerk's website if it's not already.
Okay, so we're going to continue because I want to go over to Twitter, see what they have to say about this new charge that Stephan had. And then I want to move on to the fifth arrest in Veronica, Butler, and Jillian Kelley's case. Tracy says, didn't tell my mom till I was 48. Now, and first, let me just say, this is the first comment I've seen that where people are sharing their personal experiences. Thank you guys for being brave enough to do that. I think that it adds a lot to these conversations, and it helps people. It helped me see things from different perspectives of people who had been there. I just appreciate it. Adrian says, my sister and I hid it from our mother. Maria, sorry, Allie, I'm just big mad. I mean, maybe she didn't tell, but mom didn't see any red flags. I know. I'm with you there too. And I was thinking about that today. I mean, I understand that, and don't ever apologize. I love you sharing your thoughts. I was thinking about it today when I was driving home after the news, and I was thinking, we never expect something like this to happen. So I'm sure Jen, was just living life day to day, like however she usually lived it. And sometimes we get so caught up in ourselves that we're not really stopping and smelling the roses. We're not taking in the moment. We're not, we're on our phones or on the watching this, listening to that podcast, listening to music, going to do this. It's rare sometimes that we slow down and we just take in the moment, period. And, like Madeline's birthday, I think that would be a moment that deserved to be taken in. And if Jen was just busy living her day-to-day life and wasn't necessarily, this is just, I don't know what was going on. This is just my thoughts, okay? And maybe she wasn't necessarily stopping and smelling the roses, stopping and paying attention to what was going on, really living in the moment at all, just working and then coming home. Sometimes you get caught up in work. When you work all the time or whatever, you go to work, you get home, you're tired, you fix something to eat, you go to bed, you get up, you do the same thing again, blah, blah, blah. It's just so tragic to think that, maybe she wasn't, and now Madeline's not here. And now there are no time. There's no moment where you can slow down and just enjoy the moment with her. So, I mean, I get it. And I think that if you are paying close enough attention, you would think that there would be signs of at least something going on emotionally. But then again, teenagers are emotional beast anyways, right? So Riley says, yes, it shows, but it shows talking about first degree. They more than likely have evidence of premeditation, and it wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. Jen had a comment that goes along with that. Let me go back. A charge of first degree includes premeditation, but legally there's no specific time to make it premeditated. It can be 1 second. It denotes that this was not self-defense or a crime of passion. Okay. Mom lied, though. That's my only problem with believing her. Callie Dean, and I get that, right? Like, because are you talking about we took her to school or we? And then, like, she was really big about this footage where Madeline was seen. I think that was her. For me, what I chalked that up to is she didn't want to leave it open-ended where people could start to question and accuse them. Maybe. I don't honestly know, but I understand why you feel that way. Pointer lover, I never told either. I'm so sorry, you guys who have been through this, and thank you for sharing. If he says, my mother did not know until I was 35. That's right, Grandma Cece. I heard that today too. They cannot release any information until his defense attorney gets the discovery. Kathy says, my experience was not as extreme as Madeline, but I never told. Oh, you guys are sweet. Thank you guys for just being you and being here. Most people actually don't tell, unfortunately. No one will believe you. You're right, Johnny. Johnny says, not just women, men too. And you're so right. A lot of the abusers threaten to end their life and scare them into submission. You worry you won't be believed? Yeah, that's because Jennifer says that's because you have people like Aunt B talking about how you're dressed and saying things will happen to you. Yeah. Oh, God. She shouldn't have been dressed like that. Or, she asked for it. I'm sorry. Why is she going out showing her, showing her booty cheeks or whatever? Riley says, you think a mom would always know until you're the mom who didn't know. I wish that on no one, and I hope I never have to experience that. Oh, my God, Riley. Ooh. Me too. I will give the mom grace until we know all the facts. I don't think I know a single woman who doesn't have an experience with having those boundaries crossed. Happy Sandy Beach says, this is pure evil, and I have my own thoughts of what could have happened to that beautiful baby. Hey, Thomas, it is heavy. Even if it's not our fault, we blame ourselves. Yep. Oh, Mayla's mom. Hey, Melinda. All right, I'm trying to get to the bottom of your comments so we can talk about the next case. But, I was listening to Hey JB, Hey Sparkles, and he was going over the new charge. So it's, one new charge, first degree murder. And they were talking about, he's going to be, it's a capital crime, but his other crimes were also capital crimes. I'm really hoping that this man doesn't live but another 10 years or so. And, I know a lot of people say the real punishment would be, having to spend your whole life in prison. And I usually agree, but I just want him to feel and know that you're not going to live a long, full life. You're going to live life in prison, and it's not going to be a long life. And the reason why is because of what you did. And I want him to think about that every single day, that he's going to die soon, and he's not going to live forever. Like, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Elaine says, I was SA in the 80s and had no clue what was happening. At the time, HIV was on the news, and it freaked me out. I'm so sorry, Elaine. And also, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm so sorry for any of you guys who have been through that. It's hard, and it's hard to talk about. It just is. Hey, get me a snack. Jen says, for example, strangulation is premeditated because you have to continue to hold it for a period of time, and that means you thought about it. Oh, Kelley, I'm so sorry. Music City Mom, after my mom called me a liar, I have never spoken about it again. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. And that's why people never say anything. And I can't imagine how that would have hurt. I told my mom at 26, and we held each other and cried. Me too. Not an adult, but a classmate. Do you see this? How many women have been violated in that way? A lot of trauma, abuse, and SA in my household. So sorry, you guys. So sorry, Claus. We don't know, Jen says, but rest assured she will testify and will be asked about it. And that's the thing we have to remember. We are not, how do I say this? So it is the public's right to know what's going on. These are supposed to be public. Watch a public proceeding. But until the trial, we really don't have a right to the information that we want. We all want it. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to wait for trial, and that is when the facts come out. And that is when we will know the details of all of it. Not everything, but Neat says, I think there is a possibility that Stephan convinced Maddie they were in a romantic relationship, and Maddie didn't want her mom to find out, not blaming Maddie if this is the case. Well, it's certainly possible. Foxy, I didn't talk about it till I was 48. It's something you carry and try so hard to bury, but eventually we all have to speak our truth. I'm so sorry, Foxy. I agree, Mayla's mom. I'm so glad everyone feels comfortable sharing their stories. It says a lot about our community. Sending love to you all. I completely agree. Rainbow Mom hid it till she was 17. I'm so sorry, Rainbow Mom. Riley, to be fair, we don't know that she lied or if she misspoke. I agree. Now, I'm kind of on that train too. I don't know that she intentionally lied. Part of me believes that she truly believed he dropped her off, and it was a we, meaning a family unit, right? Or her and him. I don't know. I'm kind of on that line with you too. Hey, Moose. Tammy's clips. I never told for over 25 years, and when I did, I was a liar, and now my family will not speak to me at all. Oh my God, I am so sorry. What the fuck, man? I am so sorry. It is so, I don't know. It's just, it's sad. I'm really sorry for all you guys. Oh, thank you, Kelley Dean. Well, I tell you what, I'm not, I haven't always done that. The reason that I'm at that point now is from a long road of like being wrong with these cases and like pointing my finger at people and publicly saying, I think this person is suspicious. I think they were involved. I think they're lying, and being wrong, or still not having answers and not being proven right. And so after, a few times of that and kind of seeing how these things go, I've just learned that we don't know. I don't want to be the person, just like all these people who are constantly calling out Sebastian's mom and stepfather. What if when everything comes to the surface, they had nothing to do with it? What if they didn't even do anything? What if there was not even a fight or anything? There's no blame to place on them. How do you go back and apologize? How do you undo what you did to a grieving family? You know what I mean? Trust me, like I said, I'm not perfect. I've done it. If I think about Summer Wells' case, we still have no arrest in that case. And I was not shy about giving my opinions. And, I wasn't right. But other cases I look at, Heidi Broussard, we all, like the whole internet watching that, believed that her fiance was guilty. It was not long after Chris Watts. He had the weird interview. He was just weird on camera, awkward, kind of, if I remember correctly, rocking back and forth a little bit. And people are comparing him to Chris Watts and fully believing that he was the reason for the disappearance of Heidi and their baby. But he wasn't at all. And come to find out, it was her best friend. And, Heidi was found in the trunk of her best friend's car at her house, like an hour in Houston, like I think it was like an hour or so away from their home. And the baby was in the house, and we were all wrong. So I just, over time, I've come to this place. But trust me, I've been on the other side of it as well. What's sad is that the grooming doesn't just apply to the child. It extends to the parents and caregivers. There needs to be education to look for grooming. I remember you were going to talk about that with Dr. B. I hope you guys will still do that. Amber, even if you're drunk, you didn't deserve it. People try and say you did, though. Absolutely. Well, you shouldn't have been out drinking. You shouldn't, you should have stayed home or blah, blah, blah. No, there is nothing you can do that deserves for you to be touched when you don't want to be touched. There is nothing you can do. I do not care. There is nothing that makes that okay. Nothing. Nothing. You could walk around half naked, showing off your body all the time, flirting with people, teasing people, whatever you want to do, and you still do not deserve to be touched when you don't want to be touched. Hey, Legendary. 99 Problem says, I was never abused, but a person I considered a friend took advantage of me while drunk, and it took me a while to see it was not okay. Okay, you guys, I'm going to kind of skip towards the bottom. If I miss anything, I'm sorry. Oh, headphones. Good to see you. The prisoners will get them. Yes, they will. Laura Bean, thank you. Thanks for keeping us updated with all these cases. Your compassion, honesty, and hard work is very inspiring. Oh, thank you, Laura Bean. And thank you guys for being here and just being with me. Hey, Crazy Mama. Hey, Team Psych Ward. All right, let's go over to Twitter for a minute. I hate missing comments, but I'm just going to have to jump to the bottom for this one. I'll go back and look. If there's anything super important, you guys please let me know, and I won't mind at all to scroll back and look at it. But I just want us to take a look at the latest when it comes to Stephan so we can move on, because we got to be off here and doing calls very soon. Okay, so will they come for Madeline's mama next? She betrayed Madeline in so many ways for years. Jennifer Coffindaffer thinks that Madeline's mom should face charges. So see there, you guys that do feel that way are not alone. I am very surprised that she would be so blatant about that, though, on social media, being ex-law enforcement, but whatever. I'll be honest with you guys. I have respect for her because because of her service to our country, and I'm thankful for that. However, I have lost a lot of respect for her in some of these cases, and it's unfortunate, but it's just the truth and the way I feel about it. Stephan Stearns has been indicted and charged for the murder of Madelaine Soto. This comes nearly 2 months after her body was found. First-degree murder charge, death penalty still being decided, and investigation is ongoing. I know that the indictment was right here, so I wanted to show you guys that. Court records show that he is due in court for his new charge April 29th at 1:30 p.m. for his arraignment. And then here is the indictment. The grand jury of the county of Osceola duly called, impaneled, and sworn to inquire and true presentment make in for the body of the county of Osceola upon their oaths do present that Stephan on. This is really interesting, though. Why is it on or between the 25th day of February and the 27th day of February? I'm really curious why it's written that way, and I'm sure there is a reason. But yeah, that's just kind of odd to me. Remember, her birthday was the 22nd, and then it was, during that week, and then she had her birthday party that weekend. But why in the world would that be written that way? Jen, can you tell me? I know you may know. He's pulling a Montgomery lately. Yeah, he's ashamed. He sure is. Thank you, Punksy, for the super sticker, my sweet friend. I appreciate that. Join Allie and I after this live for a bit of levity with everyone's least favorite lying liar face who tells lies. Yes, and then I mentioned, I don't know if you were here yet, but you're live after that, which is really exciting. Yes, video calls, Mia. Hey, Tiff, has anyone been watching the Daybell trial today? That's where I watched a little bit of it. I cannot believe Krisha shared a video of him during them talking about Tammy, and he was crying. I'm curious how you guys feel about that. Coffin Daffy has been proven wrong on a lot of cases. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Lil Red. Okay, so let's switch bases just really quickly because this is important, and I cannot wait to show you guys this. So a couple things. I'm going to just share this video with you. Okay. So there was 2 videos I wanted to play. I think we're only going to have time for one, and it's like 2 minutes long. The second one is like 5 minutes, and it's if you've been following the case of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelley, we know they are women from Kansas who, it's a case out of Oklahoma. There was a custody exchange taking place. Grandma, had been threatening to do this for quite a while. I'm really disappointed in what we talked about last time we talked about it, which was, Wrangler's grandma said that she was told this was going to happen back in February. And it's really unfortunate that nothing was ever done about it. But, okay, so we have the local news there had a fact finder investigating the case. That's the link I'm going to just share with you guys. I don't think we have time to watch that. But then we will watch a video about So, okay, there's been a new arrest in that case as well, the fifth person in the affidavit, Paul Grice. But also, Grandma has been talking quite a lot. So I want you guys to see both of those things. Ooh, Tess, I don't know. I don't think I've seen it yet. Okay, here's the fact finder video, and let me just show you what that looks like. See here, fact finder investigates the case of 2 missing Kansas women. Now, let me...
10 o'clock. Did this
Okay, so I'm going to show you this video and then tell you the new news, okay?
grandmother admit to killing 2 women in the Oklahoma Panhandle? New tonight, we're getting a look at what she told investigators. I'm Abigail Oval.
I'm Jessica Shambach. Prosecutors say Tiffany Adams, the prime suspect in the murders of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelley, gave a recorded statement after she was arrested. KOCO's Jason Berger got a hold of those documents and is live now. So, Jason, walk us through what you learned.
Yeah, guys, this is a motion to hold Adams without bail, and it says she told investigators she was responsible for the deaths of Veronica and Jillian.
So it's we saw the affidavits, the arrest affidavits. This is a motion prosecutors filed to hold her without bail because she admitted that she was responsible. I mean, keep playing.
I'm just glad that the people that need to be caught got caught.
Locals from Guyman and surrounding towns showed up to the Texas County Courthouse this week when Tiffany Adams and 3 other suspects were brought in for their first hearing. That same day, these court documents were filed. Prosecutors stated proof of Adams' guilt is evident, saying, quote, the state would point out that after arrest, this defendant, Tiffany Adams, did provide a recorded statement to law enforcement indicating her responsibility for the death of the deceased.
So let me see if I can just get where the document's on the screen. No condition of release would protect the community. I'm just going to read this little excerpt for you guys. And Mia, all right, well, we're going to the pond with you. I'm excited. Pack us up and we're going. Hey, KN. Okay. Taking into consideration the rebuttal presumption of 22 OS 1101, and as detailed in the attached affidavit, no condition would assure the safety of the community, which includes the witnesses and court personnel, involved in this case. The facts are that in order to prevent Veronica from regaining custody and or unsupervised supervision with her children, the defendant and conspirators were willing to commit murder. Said murder was complex and involved extensive preparation. There are statements of the co-conspirators that their problem would be taken care of because in addition to removing Veronica, they knew the path the judge walked to work. Now, faced with the consequence of the sentence of death or life in prison, the defendant and conspirators would be willing to do anything since they have shown to be willing to commit capital murder in order to limit Veronica's visitation. Let me go back a little bit, though, see if we can get the first page. One second. Okay, it's right here. Proof of guilt is evident. See attached sworn affidavit detailing the relevant facts at this time. State would point out that after arrest, this defendant, Tiffany Adams, did provide a recorded statement to law enforcement indicating her responsibility for the death of the deceased.
Documents were filed. Prosecutors stated proof of Adams' guilt is evident, saying, quote, the state would point out that after arrest, this defendant, Tiffany Adams, did provide a recorded statement to law enforcement indicating her responsibility for the death of the deceased.
They've destroyed so many lives.
Not just their own.
Not just their own, but everybody else. They've destroyed the kids. They're without their mothers now. It's sad.
Prosecutors also allege Adams and her co-conspirators weren't afraid to target a judge.
These kids were very close to their grandma, obviously, right? Because they were living there. But so they lost their grandma, who's going to be in jail forever. Their dad is in rehab and not fit, obviously. And they've lost their mom. And then let's remember Jillian, she had, I think, 4 kids, a loving husband. She was a huge part of her local community and church community.
The documents say, quote, there are statements of the co-conspirators that their problem would be taken care of because in addition to removing Veronica, they knew the path the judge walked to work. The documents also say there were multiple other attempts to murder Butler in Oklahoma and Kansas.
Let me just go back and see if we can get a look at that. I'll try to get these other documents. I have the new arrest affidavit. I grabbed that right before the live. Okay, so this is out of the arrest affidavit, actually, right here.
Attempts to murder Butler in Oklahoma and Kansas.
To support and show up for court hearings.
Oops, sorry.
And make sure, we're heard and that justice needs to be served.
Now, the documents also say Adams and her boyfriend, Tad Cullum, had a violent history, including, quote, death threats and intimidation against individuals who disagree with their ideas.
Okay, very interesting. Pointer lover, thank you so much. I almost missed that, but thank God StreamYard keeps them starred for us, so I won't miss them anymore. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And no, I think nobody has a heart like you. And you guys are what makes this whole place. I'm telling you, you bring the brains, the heart, all of it. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. Now we have a 5th arrest. If you remember, there was a man listed in these arrest affidavits named Paul Grice. Cora's daughter, who gave a lot of the information that came out, named him. Right. And everyone was wondering, we were all wondering, what the hell is going on? When is this guy going to be arrested? Maybe he obviously wasn't a part of it. Maybe Cora's mistaken. That's kind of what I was thinking. No. Apparently he also confessed, which we see here. If you go over to Twitter, whoever Sarah Azari is, she says, I'm joining Banfield News Nation on Paul Grice's arrest and confession in the Kansas mom murders. Tune in at 10 to watch. Paul Grice, 5th suspect, arrested in connection to the deaths of Kansas moms Veronica and Jillian. And I have an article I'm going to go through and we're going to look at, because it also has this arrest affidavit linked in it and stuff. But I just wanted to show you guys a little more here. So here is Mr. Paul Grice. Now, if I'm not mistaken, well, actually, let me not speak on that. Here's the Grizzly shared that. Let's take a look at that. It's uploaded on Dropbox. What I was going to say was, I remember him coming up in the news, trying to go question him or something like that. I believe he has a new family. He's pretty young, compared to some of the folks involved here. So we have the state of Oklahoma versus Paul Jeremiah Grice. Count 1, murder of the 1st degree, Veronica Butler. Count 2, Jillian Kelley's murder. Count 3, he's charged with the kidnapping of both of them as well, and conspiracy. So that's the indictment. Witnesses endorsed for the state of Oklahoma. Oh, wow. I can't believe they have the witness list like that. Oh, well, here's the arrest warrant, which, okay, we'll come back to this. Let me just skip over to this for a second and see what was in this article I had. A 5th suspect has been arrested and charged in the deaths of the 2 Kansas women in Texas County, Oklahoma. According to court records, a warrant was issued for Paul Grice today, April 24th. Court records show he is charged with 2 counts of murder in the 1st degree, 2 counts of kidnapping and conspiracy. According to the documents, officials interviewed Grice on April 23rd. During the interview, he admitted that he was part of the planning and killing of both Butler and Kelley. So he was interviewed yesterday. The warrant was issued today. And in his interview, he admitted his part Officials say he also admitted to participating in the burials. 4 other suspects we know: Tad, Tiffany, Cole, and Cora all have the same charges. And the daughter of Cole and Cora is the one who gave us all the information. Now, this is what the OSBI put out, which is the state police. As the Oklahoma State Bureau continues its investigation into the deaths of 27-year-old Veronica and 39-year-old Jillian, an additional arrest was made April 21st. Let me just take a minute to really let that sink in. 27 years old. Veronica was a baby. That's still a baby. I mean, yeah, it's obviously a grown adult woman, right? It's not an actual child. It's not a baby. But in the scheme of things, I think 27 is when I really started maturing and growing up, and I was on a particular path that maybe not everybody's on, but still, 27 years old, you have your whole life ahead of you. Based on the evidence and information gathered from the case, 31-year-old Paul Grice was arrested and booked into the Texas County Jail on the same charges as everyone else. This is still an ongoing investigation. Previously, officials said there were no other suspects in the case, despite Grice's name appearing in court documents. And do you guys remember that? They actually did say that, which is quite interesting. Okay, so let's go back over to the affidavit. It's very similar to what we already had seen. Okay, but let me just read through some of it. And if you didn't see the other affidavits, they were very similar. So let's see. On Saturday, March the 30th, the Sheriff's Office in Texas County, Oklahoma, and the OSBI the Sheriff's Office requested the OSBI with the suspicious disappearance of Veronica and Jillian. Their car was found abandoned on Highway 95, and they were both traveling to Oklahoma from Hugoton, Kansas. Interviews were conducted related to the disappearance, and it was discovered Butler was in a problematic custody battle with Tiffany Adams for the custody of Butler's 2 children. The father of those children is Wrangler Rickman, Adams' son. Butler's visitation with her children was court-ordered to be supervised every Saturday. So Grandma had a particular person. Shh, Rambo, be quiet. Sorry, you guys. Grandma had a particular person she preferred supervising these visits, named Cheryl Brune. The court ordered Adams to pay for Brune to supervise visits if that was who she wanted to be there. Otherwise, Butler was to pay for a person. Adams said Brune was unavailable for this particular visit on March 30th. Which was a lie, by the way. So for that reason, Veronica asked Jillian to come and planned to have Jillian supervise the visit. Veronica told family members she was going to pick up her children from Grandma at 10 a.m. at Four Corners. Butler and Kelly left Kansas and traveled Highway 95 and Road L about 5 miles north of Four Corners. They arrived at the location at approximately 9:40. Butler planned to bring her daughter to a birthday party, but after they did not arrive, the family began looking for Butler. Melissa and Joey Padilla, who are Butler's family members, located Butler's abandoned vehicle just west of the intersection of Highway 95 and Road L. The Padillas then contacted law enforcement at 12:09. An examination of the vehicle and the area surrounding the vehicle found evidence of a severe injury. There was blood on the roadway, the edge of the roadway, Veronica's glasses, and a broken hammer. Also, a pistol magazine was found inside Jillian's purse, but there was no gun located. Grandma told state police on Friday night, the children spent the night somewhere else, and she planned to pick them up that morning before visitation. I wonder why. She said she called Butler at 9 to confirm the meeting, and Butler told Adams something came up and she was not going to make it. However, Butler's phone records confirmed the call occurred, but at the time of this call, she was in the process of picking up Jillian to go to the visit. can't see the chat, but I'll be back in a second, you guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay and everything. So OSBI interviewed Brune. Remember, this is the person who was supposed to supervise the visits. And she said she was available that day, but Adams told her to take a couple weeks off so she could question the children related to how Veronica's approved visitation supervisors were. Veronica and Jillian's phone records indicated their devices were actively sending signals to their carriers until approximately 9:42, after which the devices were no longer seen by the networks and stopped transmitting. Adams was the last person to communicate with Veronica. Through the custody case, recordings were obtained where Rickman discussed death threats by Adams and Adams' boyfriend, Tad. The custody battle began in February of 2019 with many hearings and court appearances. On March 18th, 2024 and March 20th, motions were filed requesting extended visitation for Veronica, and they were about to have a hearing April 17th. At times, Grandma refused to let Rickman have his own children, even though Rickman is the one with legal custody. Reportedly, the officer told Rickman when Rickman called the police showed up and they said, "Look, buddy, they're better off in your mom's care." Rickman's grandmother, now this is the part that just blows me away and really ticks me off because this all could have been prevented. Rickman's grandmother, Debbie Davis, reported that in mid to late February, Rickman told her they didn't have to worry about the custody battle much longer because Tiffany Adams, aka Grandma, had it under control, and that she knew the path the judge walked to work and, quote, "we will take out Veronica at drop-off," unquote. Rickman was confirmed to be in rehab in Oklahoma City at the time of the disappearance. The children remained in the custody of Adams. Rickman denied having that conversation with Knox, so that appears to be a new addition, I believe, to the affidavit. I could be wrong. On April 1st, they got a search warrant for Adams' phone, where they found out she had done searches for taser pain level and gun shops, as well as prepaid cellular phones and how to get someone out of their house. On April 3rd, they interviewed CW. She is the daughter of Cora and Colby, and she's 16 years old. She said she overheard group conversations related to Butler not protecting her children from her brother, all in reference to an SA allegation. She said she was told by her mother that Adams, Cullum, Cora and Cole, and Paul Grice were involved in the deaths of Butler and Kelly. She stated that Adams provided burner phones to use so they could communicate without using their personal devices. She claims they are all part of an anti-government group with religious affiliation. I think it's a, what do you call that? Christian nationalist, where they're like, it's a very, very far right religious group called God's Misfits. Regular meetings were held weekly at Twombly's in the home of Barrett and Lacey Cook. That's new information. CW was told by Cora that they wouldn't be home when she woke up the next day. They were going on a mission. They returned in the same vehicles. CW asked Cora what happened and was told things did not go as planned, but they would not have to worry about Veronica again. CW was told that Cora and Cole blocked the road to stop Butler and Kelly and divert them to where Adams, Cullum, and Grice were. Okay, so that is more new information, right? It goes into more detail. CW was asked about Kelly and why she had to die and was told by Cora, so remember Jillian, and this was in the last affidavit, that she wasn't innocent either, but she had supported Butler. So let me just take a pause just for a second. Right before the live, I read through the affidavit, and I listened to Grizzly reading it, but I was half listening. And I didn't notice the little bits of new information that we're getting. I saw some, the very last sentence was new, but because I was skimming it, I didn't see it all. Okay, I apologize, you guys. I'm getting caught mouth. Thank you, Neat. Sovereign citizens. There you go. So the plan, it didn't go as planned. Cora and Cole blocked the road and diverted them to where Tiffany, Tad, and Paul were. So anyways, they said that Jillian had to die because she wasn't innocent either, and she had supported Butler. CW asked Cora if their bodies were in a well, and Cora replied something like that. CW also disclosed other attempts to kill Veronica that occurred during February 2024, where they all went to Hugoton, and Veronica didn't leave her residence. And remember, the web search on grandma's phone about how do you get someone out of their house. And then they also had the plan to throw an anvil through the windshield. We knew about that. Adams had bought 5 stun guns on March the 23rd. She purchased 3 prepaid cellular phones on February the 13th. So this was a plan that took quite a while. All those 3 phones were in the area where the women disappeared from. Let's see. We know about the hole that was filled with hay. I'm not going to read every detail of that. OSBI learned that Grice, Cullum, and Adams had cellular phone conversations amongst each other on March 30th in the morning hours prior to the disappearance of Butler and Kelly. Grice and Cullum were together at Grice's home after the disappearance after 11 o'clock on the same day. OSBI showed Adams had searched for gun shops on her cellular phone. They also found a search warrant that was, well, no, I'm sorry. I read that just way wrong. They also did a search warrant that was executed at Beasley's property and an excavation of possible burial sites where the women were located. Finally, on April 23rd, Grice was interviewed and admitted that he was part of the planning and killing of both Butler and Kelly. Grice admitted to your affiant that he participated in the killing and their subsequent burial. So that was that last sentence I was telling you guys about. So we got a little bit of new information. You know, it looks like he was just as big of a part of this as everyone else. Not sure why the delay with him being arrested. Pretty interesting that he admitted to it yesterday and the warrant was issued today. So were they not looking to arrest him before he admitted? You know, I don't know. But that is the end of that. Let's see. We have the charges there, which I've read to you guys a couple times. And yeah, that's that. I'll be really interested to see kind of how the news shakes out in the next day or two surrounding this and what we learn and what we find out. Wow, it was planned a while. Yep, it sure was. This is insane. These people are trash. How do, like, I can totally get custody battles. They get intense, right? And I've been in a couple. I really have, like, thankfully, we were able to kind of talk and work things out, but there was a point in time where it was bad. Attorneys were hired, you know, all the things going on, and it's stressful as hell. And we love our children, right? Like, I love my kids. Let me tell you what, I will go to prison to keep them safe if I have to. I know that. I will do anything I have to do, but I'm also not stupid. And I don't think that this is necessary. These kind of things are necessary to keep your kids safe. This is ridiculous. But I can see how, you know, the people immediately directly involved, meaning Grandma, Wrangler, Veronica, how they could all be like super emotional about this. But how do all these other adults come into play? How in the hell? I don't understand that. How do you think that this is going to work out? Why would you ever take part in this? What makes you, I don't know. And, you know, I don't want to speak too soon, but I need to do some more research. But what I had heard initially about Paul Grice, you know, he has a family. I won't go into detail. I do believe that I recall some about that, but I need to double check it before we go into detail about that. But You know, he has a family. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, Kathy, you started today. Mine comes Monday. Low IQ, Riley says. That's possible. I mean, but all of them? Maybe, but I don't know. No one can make me mad enough to give up my freedom or take me away from my children. She got one extra week with them. Exactly. Yay, Lil Red. Okay, well, mine comes Monday. These people are trash. Who is he to the kids? Nobody, Debbie. He's a random friend. That's what I'm saying. Like, the grandma, parents, I can see you, like, even though it still makes no sense to do this at all, I can see you being, like, heated and passionate about this situation and maybe make some really stupid decisions because of that. But the other adults, I don't understand that. But anyways, you guys, I think, hey, Lisa, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. This way I have a few minutes before we get into the, we were talking about it on Patreon, Jen, but it's a Letitia Stout book, actually. Well, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. We have video calls in 10 minutes. I hope to see you guys there over on Bendy's channel. I'm excited. The other night watching them, my God, you guys, I laughed till my face hurt. It does give us a minute to, like, even though it is still true crime, it's different because this is not about the crime at all. It's all about the psychology of a person who can commit these kind of crimes, right? And we never like use Gannon's photos or name and stuff like that in those videos because we don't want to tie him. He's already been tied to this woman enough, and this is not about the crime. It's more about the psychology of the killer, which I find that really interesting. It's just another, maybe some people aren't interested in it who like regular, current events, true crime, and maybe some are, but it gives us like, it's just, even though what happened to Gannon was so horrific, when you're deep into looking at how her brain works, it gives your heart a break from all the horrific things that we talk about with that case and other cases too. But so the book, we were talking on Patreon last night and we all ordered this book. Jen, you should order it too. I'll send you the link. It's a Letitia Stout book. Actually, I had tweeted the woman. If you go to my Twitter and look at my replies, I had seen a tweet about a woman who wrote a book on Letitia Stout. And I replied to it and I was like, where can I find this? And she's like, on Amazon, and linked it. Well, I thought about ordering it, but I never said anything. And then a couple of you guys, Little Red, ran across it, but a couple other people had ran across it too and mentioned it. But Little Red wanted to read it together and kind of go through it. She got the book. She said there's some really interesting stuff in there, maybe some things that are less, not talked about as often or unknown. So yeah, we're going to be reading that together. Let me show you, Riley. I'll show you guys really quick before we go because I have my Twitter right here. So let's go to my home, my Twitter, replies. Okay, so she tweeted on February 15th, new release. Grab your copy of the brand new Letitia Stout true crime book. Her name's Netta Newbound. Now, this is not like no disrespect to Cheryl and Cadel, but this is not a Cheryl and Cadel situation. This is not an author who calls themselves an author who's never written a book or published a book, right? Because we see that often. I've seen that a lot of times. And like I said with Sherilyn, those were her first books. She's done several now though, but this woman has written like tons of true crime books. She's a true crime bestseller. She's also got books on Lori Vallow. I think you guys told me because somebody in Patreon last night found one on Lori Vallow and somebody else, but she's like, if you go to her Amazon page, this is what she does. She is a true crime author and she's well known for it. And she's got lots of different books about it. So if you guys are interested and want to follow along with us, we can do it, all together. We were kind of just doing it as like a smaller thing on Patreon, but I would love for you guys to join us as well on this journey. Netta Newbound is her name. I would try to get a link to the book. Wait, here we go. Here's her link tree. Let me see if I can link that. Linktree.netta Newbound. You can just search her name on Amazon, or search her name and Letitia Stalk, and it will come right up. Yes, let's do it. Okay. There we go. I don't know if that link will work, but if it Hello, you guys. I'm so sorry. Hopefully, you can hear me now. I had to come in on my phone. My internet just went out on me. Um, of course, thankfully, we're done with the live. I don't know why that keeps happening, like at the end of the live. But I did not mute myself. The internet went out. I'm going to jump off here and I'll see you guys over at Jen's in like 5 minutes or less. I just have to get my stuff together so I can be over there and not be late. Thank you, Nails with Hope. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to my incredible mods. I really do just love and appreciate you guys so much. I went deaf. Claus. Oh, Claus, thank you. So agree with Pointer Lover. No one has a heart like yours, Alex. Love you. I love you too. And thank you. Thank all you guys. I really appreciate you. I hope to see I hope to see you over at Jen's, and I'm just going to end it. Or, I'm going to sit here and say hello for like the next 20 minutes. So see you over there. Bye. Thanks for everything.